And so to get out of that, after a period of time, it's real hard to get out of it. And especially so maybe in Vancouver, and I don't know if this is the philosophy in other places of the world, but it's almost considered, what is considered judgmental here now to even offer a way out. Because it's like, well, you know, that's making a judgment on someone's profession. And I can understand if someone says, this is the profession that I choose. You're telling me I can't do this. But like I said, I think most people haven't chosen this. And given the opportunity would want to get out. And so that's the number one block right now, is that it's considered sort of morally judgmental to say, do you want out? Do you want help out? And then you've just got all kinds of other issues. You know, you do have drug addiction issues, which are significant. You do have the sort of a habit of lifestyle, which is difficult to get over. You do have the fact that if someone's been working as a prostitute for years, they actually do have some significant job skills, but they're not really marketable. They're not marketable for most, I guess, normal jobs. You know, and then so you've got this blank space on your resume. You know, so where are you going to go? What are you going to do? How are you going to get work? How are you going to support yourself? If you're a single mom, what are you going to do? Like, they're just, welfare doesn't cover it, and so there's just all these pressures, and there's this knowledge that I can go and make $20-50 like this without any difficulty. And it's our society that is kind of saying, well, we accept that as a reality. We accept that violence towards women is this reality, and it is this option that's available to women, and I guess that's just what they're going to have to do, because we choose as a society, and really as a church, to not do those hard things to actually support somebody coming out. Like, it's a full, complete, community, holistic investment in somebody to bring somebody out. It isn't just here's my card, or hey, you know, here's a sandwich, maybe you don't have to do that tonight. No, it's a full-on, I'm going to bring this person into my life kind of investment.
Yeah. We during these interviews we've done during these 48 days of awareness, one of the things in talking to individuals who are offering houses or homes and transitional homes and recovery is the comparison to kind of a treatment mentality of an addiction compared to an individual who is coming out of a life of victimization and being controlled by others. And you know, the paradigm of treatment for an addiction is that you can go there for a season, be able to detox physically, emotionally, psychologically, understand the trappings, get strength to overcome, and then you can return to an encouraging, supportive environment. And I think a lot of times people, even in thinking of recovery, although there's very few, Vanita Carter from Breaking Free says there's only 50 that she knows of in our nation.
50 beds.
Of beds, 50 beds that are connected with recovery centers. But the idea that to send someone for like a 30-day or 4-month recovery, and then where do they go back to? You know, especially if the average entry level is 13, 14 years old. You know, the situation that they've been in. Okay, so it's a your experience in both. Are you seeing? You gave us a stat: 90% women want out. Is there? If there would be a lot more homes available, would they instantly be filled up? And then also, I want to hear a little bit from you. I know you've had direct experience with and some women in your community of getting out. And what does that look like for them?
Okay, so first, would these houses be filled up? It's tough because you really have to build trustworthiness.
Yep.
Because I think for for good reasons, most of the even just people who are homeless, people who are addicted, people who are involved in prostitution, don't have a lot of trust of people, and particularly don't have a lot of trust of people in the church. Because
why is that?
Well, I mean, most of the interaction of people in the church with people who are in addiction is from a service provision mentality or a missions mentality. And it's all out of good intentions. It's not even necessarily wrong. It's just, it's a very specific power dynamic going on that, you have these groups of young people, healthy, fresh-looking, all wearing the same colored T-shirt, coming down to the streets and giving out, stuff and talking to women about Jesus and so on. And it's, it doesn't really strike to the heart of reality for a lot of these women. So it just feels like a very shaming thing. And it doesn't necessarily build up a lot of trust. Now, trust is built by presence and consistency and stability. And that's what these sort of short-term missions aren't. Short-term missions are not stable. They are not long. They're not consistent. You really need people who are consistently there, consistently present, consistently trustworthy. And even then, people are still going to have a hard time. Like, it's going to take a long time to build up trust. So, like, there's one girl who's come in through our place, and we had known her for 5 years before she finally said, "Okay, I'm ready to come in." And she did take her last hit of crack right before she walked into our house, and she spent a month on our couch, and it was really hard. It was really humbling for her. It was really humbling for us as we just tried to learn to do things together. I remember one case where we were the top of a can that you sort of, you take a can opener and you open it up and you throw it in the garbage, right? Well, she was getting really upset with us for doing that because she said, well, when binners go in there, those tops are really sharp. So you need to fold those up. So she would do it, and we're like, no, come on, just like, we're actually being proud. Like, just let us throw it away. Like, no, you need to do this because my friends are going to cut themselves. Like, it's just a really humbling experience, that she had knowledge that we just didn't. So she stayed with our family for a month, and then she went into this family-run transitional home we have, and stayed there for several months. And just this past weekend now, it's been a year since she's been clean and sober and out of that whole life, and her longtime boyfriend also got clean. And just this past weekend, they got married.
Wow!
And she came walking down the aisle. I sang her down the aisle, and she came down in white. And just our whole community was there, and a couple other communities that had been involved. Like, you just looked around and saw about 70 people, all of whom had invested in her life.
Wow!
And then she's married now and involved in this beautiful covenant relationship. But that took that full year of work, but also really 7 years before that. Mm-hmm. It just takes a long, long time. It takes this huge investment of energy and community.
Mm-hmm. What just kind of in conclusion here, Aaron, what is your hope that you see in the body of Christ? And, as we're looking at the Annex project, as we're looking at transitional homes, there's this piece of it